I'm going to go back to the robot.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he's made out of metal.
Yeah.
But I've heard different.
Yeah, it's actually all cardboard and dollar store materials. The whole thing, including the sequence itself, cost me, I'd say, I think by the time it was done, it was $600 to do everything, and the robot alone cost $300. These little swimming things that kids used to learn to swim with, and these tiny little, like, I don't know, they look like a big tombstone, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? But they're made out of this really cool foam. I bought that to make out like the bolts and the nuts and all these other gadgety pieces to it, and like squirt guns, which I broke and cut in half, flipped around, stuck. You know what I mean? Just creative stuff that I just knew would look cool under the type of lighting I was going to do, and it's the way I painted it. It took about a month to build all the pieces without an actor in it. You know, so I was kind of just figuring out where his knee joint will be and all this type of stuff. And then when he came over for the fitting, Barry Nerling, it fit him like a glove. I always like building stuff that's practical. I don't like building just for the camera, so I figure if it looks good to the eye and you can actually move around in it comfortably, then there's minimal having to cheat the camera and lose shots. You can shoot it from any angle.
Now, from this point on, you work for me.
Alex Montgomery Fitness III works for no human.
You don't need a lot of money to make movies. I've always said that. You need to be creative and you need to be prepared.
2 years of post-production. Obviously there's a lot that goes into it. But
Yeah.
can you give us kind of a breakdown on what happens in 2 years?
I don't wing things because you end up making mistakes and then you end up doing the work twice. Sometimes I'm like a crazy person making notes on napkins, piece of paper, then having my phone and doing a voice memo, everything I can, and then I compile this information to an action plan. With those 2 years was at first I said, I'm going to work on the edit first, don't touch anything, no colors, you know, not distracting myself. And I just worked on the flow of the film, just getting the editing down. Once I was able to get the editing out of the way, I started looking into some of the color things I wanted to do, and then I started figuring out some of the shots that are going to need some enhancement, like meteors put into the scene. And then by figuring out what I needed to do, I just made a list. So if you look at my shot list in my computer, there are actually 1, 2, 3. That's how I know how many shots I've actually composited, which is over 365 in the entire film, which is unheard of for one person, one frame at a time.
So it's actually amazing to say it only took you 2 years.
It is, because a lot of filmmakers are in this boat and they're like, yeah, you know, I've been working on this film for 10 years. I don't want that. Without sacrificing quality, I was lucky enough that I had saved money for my film gigs, that I was able to stay off work for 2 years. You know, so I didn't need a regular job. I'd do the odd little side job, gave me enough time to run home and basically get on my computer, which I'm still doing now in the marketing phase of things. But that's the only way it was possible, is to just be devoted, lock myself in my basement, literally, and just seclude myself from everything and everyone. Barely even saw my own wife, quite honestly, right? Do I need makeup, Sue?
No, you're beautiful.
Speaking of makeup, you've been on set of movies and you've done makeup for X-Files and shows around Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do any of the zombie makeup?
No, you know what? Mike Fields he's beyond capable. To have somebody like Mike Fields is just like, the film's done as far as makeup quality goes. So I knew I didn't have to worry about it. The odd time I'd have a squirt bottle with blood in it. There's something I want to see on an actor's face in a certain frame. I just put the extra bit on there.
There's no previews out there on the TV yet.
Basically right now, being in the distribution phase of things, it's going to basically go to foreign sales first. That's just how it works out, because Germany was kind of the first ones that were on the scene that have been waiting for this film for the 2 years that have been in post-production. My sales agent just got back literally 2 days ago from Berlin. He had some really good news. He was sending me information and saying, oh yeah, Germany is interested, the Netherlands are interested, so Amsterdam, USA, Canada, so it's pretty much going global. That's where it's at right now. I mean, the film is technically finished, but I'm working on DVD menus and still doing animations and stuff like that, because I have time, and in between I'm doing marketing, kind of working with my sales agent, trying to pick the best deals for it. It's going to be coming soon, possibly to Amazon, Netflix, like all those online venues as well. iTunes, hopefully. Maybe it's too gross for Apple, I don't know. But it's coming soon. I would say in the next month.
That's basically saying you're not even finished with this project, but you've already got your eyes on another project.
Another few projects. I mean, every filmmaker out there they're going to completely agree with this statement. I mean, whenever you're in it and you're in it for the long run, your computer usually should have a few hundred scripts, ideas, pages, thoughts, concepts. Mine does. That's where you pluck from. That's how I visualize it. The second I get the opportunity to get to the next level, then I have a nice database of, okay, this one. So I already have 4 scripts that I'm kind of ready to go with right away. One that's 100% just packaged, ready to go, just needs the budget and cast. So there's quite a few that I'm just dying to get to, but I'm still in the Bong.
Are you allowed to say anything about the one that's 100%?
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you the whole lowdown of it. A script that I wrote about 5 years ago, it's called Unnatural. It's written to be successful because it has certain elements based on other films that have been successful. Your typical cabin in the woods type of thing with the teens, and they're all doing their shit while they get killed, but there's more to it than that. It's about this character named Charlie, who is a mutated creature type of thing. The way he becomes that is kind of the cool story. When he's a kid, he runs onto the road and his mother tries to save him at the last second, but they both get hit by a car. She dies, he gets really mangled and ends up in this hospital. The father witnesses it all. They do experimentations on him basically to try to see if they can rebuild it. The more they kind of inject him with stuff, the worse it makes him, and he begins to mutate. So then they kind of shove him to the lower sub-basement of the hospital. Like, okay, we're just going to hide this mistake and kind of keep him down there. And while he's there, he's still being kind of tended to, but still mutating and growing. One night he ends up killing his night nurse, which at the precise moment when the father happens to show up to the hospital, then he takes his son, basically who's this creature, throws him in the back of his car, and takes him to this cabin in the woods to kind of try to save him from being taken to prison, whatever they would do to him. But the problem is now that he's cut off from his medications, he's beginning to rot. He needs to replenish himself by killing good-looking people and taking their limbs. So the long line is, in order for him to survive, you must die. So it's a creature feature with a giant flesh-tearing bastard named Charlie.
Your socks.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what color they are today?
They're brown. They're like dark brown.
I can see that they match.
Yes.
Is there a reason for that?
Is there a reason why they match?
Yeah.
Yeah, because my wife pairs them up together.
Right.
She puts them away.
So,
or else I would be wearing...
So does she pick them out as well, or you pick them out?
I don't really clothes shop, quite honestly. I don't have... to me, it's just like I'm stuck in this phase, and I'm so driven by what I'm trying to do. Hygiene, number one, yes. But clothes shopping is like, what am I buying clothes for when I'm always stuck in the dark doing something in post right now? So when I go to meetings even, I'm wearing my Bong of the Dead shirt.
Which is appropriate.
Exactly. So it's just like, outside of that, yeah, my wife does buy my clothes. Not afraid to say it.
Right. Does she lay them out for you, though?
Yeah.
Okay. So the sock
support.
process is nothing of your choice.
No, they're just really comfortable.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks a lot, Tom.
Thank you.
Nice speaking to you.
Awesome. You too. Thanks for coming.